Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by author, speaker, and mold toxicity master practitioner, Magic Barclay. Magic has an amazing bio, and she's the practitioner of a lot of things, which we'll be getting into, and we'll be getting into everything that she's up to and gonna be up to. She's survived many illnesses and things that was fatal or could have been fatal, but she's a survivor. So Magic, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm someone who every time there's a choice to make, I make it. I don't look back and I work it out as I'm doing things. So for my health, I've kind of been thrown into situations and then had to work it out. So yes, I've been exposed to mold, I've had cancer, I've had a heart attack, like the list goes on. But I'm not the kind of person to sit back and go, well, that happened, now what can I do? I learned from it and I keep learning and I teach my clients to keep learning as well.
Well, you are the practitioner of a lot of things. So can you kind of run through your qualifications and explain to listeners what they all mean?
Yeah, so I'm a practitioner of lymphedema, so I perform complex manual decongestive therapy or lymphatic drainage to other people. So the lymphatic system's super important. It's our waste removal system, so I teach people how to support that system. I am a mold toxicity practitioner and I teach people how to clear mold from their homes, from their bodies, from their pets, from their everything, because mold goes with you when you leave it behind. It kind of travels inside you. And I'm also a functional health practitioner. So I work with all of the immune types. I work with the nervous system, the adrenal system, and I teach and am a practitioner in PNEI, which is psychoneuroendoimmunology. And particularly when it comes to things like trauma or early childhood disease or trauma, the PNEI really comes into play with things like that.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. What is the PNEI of trauma?
So PNEI is psychoneuroendoimmunology. So P is the limbic system. It's part of our brain that creates our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And that reacts to what's going on around us very quickly. And it can even react to internal dialogue. But in the case of trauma, it reacts straight away to keep you safe. It sends messages to the nervous system to, again, keep you safe. And so nervous system reactions can happen and dysregulation can happen in a way that you don't even know it's happening. That sends messages to your endocrine system, so your hormonal system, and that again shuts things down, switches things off, accelerates other things to keep you safe. And then the end of that chain is the immune system. And that's where, if you don't listen to all the other systems or you don't know how to listen to them, it basically shuts you down. So when it comes to trauma, you can start to get colds frequently, flus, you might get autoimmune, and that's all your body's way to keep you safe. But it's an end of the line action or reaction to trauma.
Well, how does understanding the body system help us to understand a diagnosis?
Well, first of all, a diagnosis is a label. So a diagnosis is just a name for a collection of symptoms. Now, the symptoms are what we really need to listen to. They're not what we treat, but what we listen to. And the symptoms are your little whispers of your body telling you something's not quite right. So basically, when we get a diagnosis, it's because these symptoms have gained traction, teamed up, and it's telling you what's not right in your body. And when we get the diagnosis, we need to take it seriously. Not to say, say, I am whatever the diagnosis is, because it's just a label, but we need to take it seriously and look at which systems of the body are affected. And it's the systems of the body that we support. The symptoms are just the indicators.
Define the definition of a autoimmune disorder.
Yeah, an autoimmune disorder is usually a, a reflection of a stuck immune system. So, our immune system is supposed to cycle in and out of all the different types and change in response to whatever it's exposed to. But an autoimmune is your body getting stuck in a system. So, autoimmune could be, you know, something that has over time collected and it's like the switch is stuck on. Many people say an autoimmune is your body attacking itself. That's not correct. What it actually is you have been exposed to a threat for so long that your immune types have stuck there and they think that threat is ongoing, even if it's long gone. They think it's ongoing, and so you're continually mounting that fight.
Let's talk about mold. Let's talk about how it actually affects the body and why is it so dangerous.
Yeah, so mold itself is a decomposer. So it's in the fungal collection, and all fungus and molds decompose. So if you have like a moldy apple in your fruit basket, it's going to infect all of the other apples. And if you leave it there too long, there'll be nothing left of the apple. That's its job. So mold does the same with us. It's a decomposer. So it starts to decompose really important parts within your body. And the first thing your body does is says, I'm not safe. So this is where your limbic brain, your limbic system comes in as well, and it starts to create thoughts, feelings, and emotions in response to the mold toxicity because it knows something's not right. It sets off that PNEI pathway, and mold can start to break down your nerves. It can start to change your hormonal profile, and your immune system has to react to it. So, again, the PNEI is in play here. But the other thing mold can do is it can change your skin, it can change your hair, it can damage all of your cranial nerves, part of that N from the PNEI, and it can really cause havoc within your body if not treated properly.
Give us some best practice tips on taking care of our immune system and talk about are there things that we should avoid when taking care of our immune system.
Yeah, so the first thing is listen to your body. Your immune system will tell you what it needs at the time. So I have a child at the moment with a head cold, and he came and said to me, Mum, I'm all stuffy in the nose, my eyes are itchy and running. I've been battling this cold for a few days. And I said, what would you like? And he immediately said, I need elderberry tea. Can you please make me some? Because I've taught him to listen to his body. He's using adaptogens to support his immune system to get this cold sorted and out of the way so he can get back to life. We need to do the same. We need to listen to our bodies. If our body says you need to rest, you need to sleep, then that's what you need to do. Never ever try and work your way through an immune threat. The other thing is we need to get out into the sunshine. We need to support our bodies in the early morning sunshine to be able to activate our immune system, but also activate the good bacteria in our gut, because these are going to help make neurotransmitters for our brain so we have a better mental health. Because the first thing that happens when we feel unwell, through any type of threat is we start to feel bad about ourselves or things around us. We get crotchety and angry. And so we need to support those neurotransmitter making bacteria. Now, the other thing we need to do is really understand what's happening with our immune system. So, what does it need? It will tell you. And so, there might be times that you just want warm soups. Do that. There might be times that you feel like you need to fast. Do that. There might be times where you feel like just water or coconut water is what you need. Do that. We kind of switch off listening to our body when it's under threat. And we need to get back to what is our body trying to tell us? What is it that we think and feel that we need? And we need to follow that.
Are there medical or pathogenic interventions that can destroy the immune system?
Yeah, so all pathogens will trigger the immune system response. So mold will trigger one type, a virus or viral cells will trigger another type. Um, Bacterial infection will trigger another type. And so, again, it depends on what your symptomology is as to which type you're swinging in and out of. When it comes to medical interventions, the worst thing we can do is take things like antivirals because they will kill off certain mechanisms of action in the body. Antibiotics are another big minefield. We've relied so much on antibiotics in the past 50, 60 years that now we have these really prevalent antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. Now, these are bacteria that should be able to help us, things like staph and strep. They live in and on our bodies naturally anyway, but now they don't even respond to antibiotics when they get out of control. And so you need to limit these medical interventions because they actually switch off your body's response to be able to fight these things. So, things like a sty in your eye is a staph infection. Just treating it by using a super hot pack and, putting it on your eye with your eye closed, obviously, and holding it there for 10 minutes and doing that on and off 2 or 3 times, that will disperse the staph. If you were to take an antibiotic to disperse that staph or kill the staph, you're actually killing off all the other good bacteria that are going to help you get over the sty in your eye, just as an example. So we really need to treat these medical interventions with caution. I'm not saying don't ever use them. There may be a time that you need to use them, but we need to look at what they are doing and they are sweeping out all of the good stuff rather than just the bad pathogen.
Well, let's talk about the lymphatic system. Explain what it is, what it does, and why it's so important.
So the lymphatic system is your waste removal system, and most of your lymphatic system sits just under the skin, and it kind of works in conjunction with the circulatory system. They travel very similar pathways in the body, and the difference is the circulatory system has a pump called the heart. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. So it's really important to keep moving because by moving, you're moving your lymphatics. What can happen is you can get lymphedema or lipedema, and they're very different. Lymphedema is fluid, lipedema is collections of fat. So it will look like a little fat bubble under your skin. And what this is a blockage in the lymphatic system. So it's a blockage of waste. And your lymphatic system is constantly working 24/7 in conjunction with all of the other systems of the body and with the liver to help expel waste. It's basically always looking for an exit system. That might be by going to the toilet, by vomiting, by sweating. There's always an excretory pathway that the lymphatic system will need to use. And so when we damage the skin by getting a cut or by getting surgery or by getting a tattoo, we're also affecting the lymphatic system. And so what a lot of people do is once they've had a surgery, they'll experience lymphedema. So it's swelling, it's kind of bubbly and watery just under the skin, and it's something that's very hard to get rid of once you've got it. but it can be treated. And we just need to really respect the lymphatic system for everything it does for us.
Well, you're also an author, so talk about your books. Tell us what we can expect when we read them, why you decided to write them, and where we can get them at.
Okay, so my very first book was a cookbook that I wrote for my children. It's no longer in print, unfortunately. My children were both born on the autism spectrum disorder, and when they were little, to help their behavior, I went gluten free, dairy free, sugar free, fun free almost for them. So I did this cookbook with them to be able to give them recipes. I then was approached by a gentleman in Australia to do a compilation book called the Complete Health Series Volume 2. And in that, I shared a story about my children and learning to parent kids on the spectrum and to keep them healthy. I then wrote a book that was close to my heart about body dysmorphia, also no longer in print, unfortunately. And then I wrote a book called Stop Being Fat, Love Yourself Skinny. This is still available on Amazon. And it's not a weight loss book that you would expect. It's not about this is how you lose weight. It's about breaking the myths and, all the hype from the media about weight gain and weight loss and how to really love yourself from within. It doesn't matter what size you are. You have to love who you are. The outside is just the outside. Let's focus on who we are inside. And yeah, I'm really happy to say that one went number one bestseller in its first 24 hours, and it's still available on Amazon.
Okay, well, how did you get the name Magic Barclay? I have to say, with all the stuff in your bio, you are like magic with all the stuff you know, but how did you get that name?
My grandfather helped me change my name when I was younger. So um, I'm the last child in my generation and the only girl. And I was having a problem one day and I went to him and, was talking about the issue. And he said, I nicknamed you Magic for a reason. Live up to it. So he then helped me change my name, which was fantastic.
Sweet, real name Magic. Tell us about any upcoming or current projects that you're working on that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, look, we're working on doing a series of small videos for our website. I'm very big on using what comes from nature to heal. And so I grow a lot of medicinal herbs and plants and flowers. And so we're working on filming those from, plant to medicine to see how easy it is to support your body.
All right. Well, so listeners can keep up with everything that you're up to, throw out your contact info.
Yeah, so everything's on the website. It's www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au. We are based in Australia, so .au, and it's holistic with a W because we treat with holism using every system of the body together. So www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au.
All right. Close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if that was something I forgot to touch on that you would like to talk about, or any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
Final thoughts are it's your body. You have every right to understand what's happening. If you reach out to us on the website, send out a contact form and type in the subject RCA for root cause analysis, we will actually do a free call with you anywhere around the world and we'll send you a findings report by email, which gives you everything that we've found that's going on in your body because you have every right to understand it, comprehend it, and really learn from it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Go to that website, holisticnaturalhealth.com.au, and check it out. Get that root cause analysis. Everybody needs it and can definitely benefit from it. And, it might even save your life. Follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible. If you are someone that you know would like to become a guest, or if you want to get more information on the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, leave a review or anything like that, contact me for any reason. visit www.curveball337.com. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. And Magic, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
For more information on the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, visit www.curveball337.com. Until next time, keep living the dream.